So the title of this video is picking a winning Lego set, and I hate saying I get asked all the time because that's a gimmick that creators say that just doesn't happen, but I do occasionally get asked, hey, what is the best way to pick a winning Lego set? And I say, you know, with your hands, of course. But there are certain things that you need to do when it comes to picking a good Lego set for resale. And here's the thing, this video is going to be very good for new Lego resellers. It's also going to be very, very good for the experienced Lego reseller. And the reason why that is because I am a back to the basics type of person. I strongly believe in looking at the fundamentals, looking at what has made you successful in the past and just revisiting it, right? There are a lot of things that become second nature that, you know, I know how to pick this set, I know how to pick that set, but it's always good to review the certain roles, the certain fundamentals that you put in your business model when it comes to picking a winning Lego set. So that's what we're going to do today. So right now you're looking at Lego Shop at Home, and if you are new to Lego reselling and you click shop and you hit set by theme, you're going to see just a lot of things that may be confusing, things you don't understand, and you don't know where to start. And that's okay, because you're going to be asking yourself the same question, just not for one of the Lego sets, but all of the Lego sets, and that will help you become a better reseller, or it will help you continue to be a very good Lego reseller. So the first thing you need to ask yourself, is the price for this Lego set a reasonable price, and are you able to get it at some sort of a discount? I will give you an example. The mechanical lighthouse with the actual light, that is a set that I will absolutely never touch. That is a set that is way overpriced. And you see more than ever, all kinds of people talk about how Lego is so expensive. And usually I'm not one that like listens to people that complain when it comes to anything, but I do believe they have a valid point. You'll see some sets out there that are $100 and you're like, wow, there's only 800 pieces in that. Why is that $100? And then you'll see some other sets that have 800 pieces in it, and that's $80, right? So you need to look out not just for sets that you think you'll sell, but you're also going to have to look at some of those things as well. This right here is what the next Lego architecture set is going to look like. I absolutely cannot wait to talk about this set. This is I believe a Japanese temple or something like that. The name escapes me, so I apologize. This is a set that I'm very much looking at gobbling up hundreds and hundreds of, but if it is a unreasonable price, I'm just not going to touch it. You also need to ask yourself, am I able to get a reasonably good set at a good price? And not just the retail price, you want to see if you could get it at 20%. And maybe it might benefit you to do a little bit more digging to see if you could get it for more than 20%. The next thing you need to ask yourself is this a set that is oversaturated? Well, how do I know if it's oversaturated, Jim? Well, there's an example right here that I'm going to show you. This is Amazon.com. We're looking at the Lego Technic Jeep Wrangler set. It looks like right now there are 77 sellers. That might be a little bit high in my opinion to have 77 sellers on a Lego set that hasn't even retired yet. And then you need to go and do a little bit more digging, right? You need to see how much quantity those Amazon resellers have. If each one of those Amazon sellers have 100 units and there's 77 Amazon stores, that may be a set that you just want to pass on. I actually like this set a lot. I think it's really cool. I own one, but in my opinion, because there are so many resellers, I'm not going to touch this. The next thing you want to ask yourself, is this set an exclusive? Now, if it's not an exclusive, that's definitely not a deal breaker, right? But if you do find a set that is somewhat of an exclusive, and I have this screen up right now because you're looking at the Lego Star Wars TIE Fighter, which in my opinion is probably the best ultimate exclusive set ever. So I wouldn't want to say that whether it is or is not an exclusive is a box that you should, you know, have on deciding whether or not you should check off. But if it is an exclusive, then that is a set that you may want to consider even more when it comes to adding it to your inventory. Another question you want to say to yourself is, does this set have unique minifigures? Now, something about me, I've really, until recently, have not been big on purchasing sets on whether it has unique minifigures or it doesn't. Of course, there are some unique minifigures that are not as equal to other unique minifigures. Whenever I started reselling, I was mostly in architecture, and there really aren't any unique minifigures or any minifigures at all whenever it comes to architecture. But the Star Wars ATTE Walker is an example of a unique minifigure that matters. Now, I, in the past, had somebody scrape the Brickset website, and that's because I wanted to see how many unique minifigures there were in 2022. Well, guess what? There were well over 200 unique minifigures, right? Just because there's a unique minifigure doesn't necessarily make it unique for resale, right? A unique Commander Cody minifigure is a lot different than the lawnmower guy in a Lego City set, right? And even though that may be considered a unique minifigure, just keep in mind there are hundreds of unique minifigures that Lego puts out every year, and they're not always created equal. Another thing you want to ask yourself is, what are your experienced reseller friends saying about these particular sets? And that word experienced is key, right? You want to make sure you filter out what the pack is saying. You want to make sure you filter out what other people are saying. This right here is the Lego Dots page right here on Lego Shop at Home. I actually have this here as a placeholder because I kind of sworn into secrecy to not share the theme with anybody. And with respect, I don't want to break that gentleman's trust. But a couple weeks ago, I went up to another city and I had lunch with another reseller. And there was this one Lego theme that I, to be honest, am really not a fan of. And he was very, very bullish on it. And he explained to me why he likes this theme a lot, why he's all in on all of the sets coming out in 2023, maybe some sets coming out last year. And it was an interesting perspective that I never heard before, which made me curious. Now, I'm not necessarily still doing jumping jacks on that theme, but that's a conversation that I remember. And if I'm at the Lego store with an extra couple $100 in my pocket and all of the sets that I am looking for aren't there, I may just go ahead and take a chance and I may grab a couple of those sets, and more than likely they will do well. This is someone who is a very experienced reseller, and they do well over 6 figures every year when it comes to reselling. Another thing you want to think about is timing, right? You don't want to be gobbling up all kinds of Lego sets that aren't even close to being on the retirement list. This is kind of common knowledge, of course, and this is why I'm kind of saving it for last. This is also why I keep using the example of people, stacking up all of the DeLorean Back to the Future Lego sets, right? That's something you absolutely should not be doing, but you see a dozen people do it on the Facebook groups, on the online forums, and you just have to scratch your head and say to yourself, why are these people doing this? Because they're not putting Lego sets on the shelves, they're putting money on the shelves. And the last thing you want to do is have money stay on the shelf. You want to have that money moving, right? Another thing when it comes to timing is there are certain times where things just align and intersect, right? I know for me, the very first Star Wars Lego set I purchased, the very first R2-D2 UCS, set number 10225, I was praying to God that that very first trailer for the last trilogy, when that trailer came out, there was going to be an R2-D2 in it, and sure enough, there was. And that made me very happy, and that made me think as to one of the reasons why I was able to sell that set at such a high price. The reason why I have the Lego Architecture White House set right here is because this set retires at the end of the year. Well, guess what? In the following November after that, there's going to be a presidential election in this country, right? So hopefully with the set retiring in December, it having almost 12 months to go ahead and mature in the intersection of a presidential election, that might hopefully make this set go for $20 or $30 more than it normally would the first year of retirement. And finally, you want to make sure you kind of think outside of the box, right? You want to use some online tools that are free, and you may want to pay for maybe 1 or 2 online tools also. This right here is the trends part of Google, right? I typed in Lego Friends, I typed in Lego Architecture, I typed in Lego Speed Champions. And when you look at that, you would never think that Lego Friends there's a lot more search traffic for Lego Friends than there is Speed Champions and Architecture, right? This right here is one of the many reasons why I have an embargo on Lego Friends videos on the public YouTube channel. I only do Lego Friends videos for the Patreon right now. But there are other themes that do better than Lego Friends, and things like this will help give you a keen eye when it comes to picking out Lego sets. The Wayback Machine. Right now you're looking at the Wayback Machine, right? Right now I'm on February 28th, 2015 of the Lego Shop at Home website, right? This in the past has helped me when it comes to determining what Lego sets to purchase or what themes to investigate. So there are a lot of cool tools out there. Some are a little bit expensive and you have to pay for it, and some are free. But it's up to you in the end to decide which ones you want to use to make sure you're on the cutting edge of Lego investing and reselling. That's it, friends. Hope you enjoyed the video. As always, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Once again, I'm Jim with wolfforbricks.com. Always go out there and get it.